Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Avram Glazer refuses to apologise over the European Super League. Sky News caught up with Avram Glazer in Florida. He refused to answer any questions. Will the Glazers sell Manchester United? It recently says the Glazers could be forced to sell Manchester United, but for only £4 billion. It recently said that the Glazers have no intentions of selling Manchester United. So reflecting on that, the Glazers are here to stay. More protests are planned at Old Trafford. Will the Old Trafford protests force the Glazers out of the club? Now, the Man United-Liverpool game got postponed on Sunday because hundreds of our fans went inside Old Trafford and invaded the pitch. The Liverpool game will be rearranged. There's been no confirmed date yet. They were protesting against the Glazer family outside Old Trafford, and they burned the American flag. The other week, they protested against the Glazers at Carrington, and some of our fans blocked entrances into the Carrington training ground to protest. And there was banners, wasn't there, saying MUFC 20, 51%, we decide when you play, and Glazers out. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say the other week that the Glazer family will not sell Manchester United, and before that he told protesters that Joe Glazer loves the club. Joe Glazer released a statement the other week apologising over the European Super League plans. Even the Red Knights told the Glazers to sell Manchester United. But you can definitely understand the fans' frustration. The Glazers have put us in a lot of debt. They've been at Manchester United for 16 years. They've been with us since 2005. The Glazers bought the club for $500 million. If we get the Glazers out, I think it will be the right decision by Manchester United. We need to recommend new owners in. I hate the way the football club has been run now for a long time. So that's more news regarding the Glazers. Now I want to give you some news on Sam Johnstone. So Man United are looking at Sam Johnstone from West Brom as a replacement for De Gea. West Brom will demand £20 million for Sam Johnstone if they are relegated. Now we have a sell-on clause of around 15% after selling Sam Johnstone to West Brom for £6 million back in 2018. Sam Johnstone's current contract with West Brom expires next year. Yes, we did have Sam Johnstone for 9 years, risen up our youth academy. Obviously, he's been out on loan before at quite a few clubs. Obviously, we're looking for a second choice goalkeeper because obviously Dean Henderson is now our number one, and obviously we're looking to offload De Gea. It also says we've been looking at Tom Heaton from Aston Villa. Now, Manchester United are ready to sanction a £90 million bid for Harry Kane. The Glazers are planning this. Harry Kane did say a few weeks ago that he wants to win team trophies after Tottenham's Carabao Cup final defeat to Man City. Harry Kane did say earlier on this season that he wants to leave Tottenham if Tottenham fail to qualify for the Champions League. Harry Kane said that he wants to stay in the Premier League if he decides to leave Tottenham. Daniel Levy, Tottenham's chairman, he said Tottenham will only consider offers for Harry Kane starting at around 125 million. Earlier on this season, it said that Harry Kane had dealt Tottenham a major blow. He said he was refusing to commit his future to them, and he said he's delaying his transfer decision until after the Euros. Earlier on this season, David Ornstein spoke about Harry Kane. And David Ornstein said, he spoke to people in football. He said Harry Kane's unhappy. He said he wants to leave Tottenham. He said he's committed to Tottenham whilst he's there, but he wants to win the biggest trophies, and he hasn't been experiencing this at Tottenham. We've been in for Harry Kane now for a long time. City also want him as well. It said earlier on this season that PSG were looking to beat us and City to the signing of Harry Kane. Harry Kane has been a very long-serving player at Tottenham. He's been with them for 17 years. He's been in their senior squad since 2009. He's under contract with Tottenham until 2024. Back in 2018, he signed a 6-year contract with Tottenham. Harry Kane has won the Golden Boot a couple of times, reflecting on his good performances. He's had quite a few loan spells as well before with Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich and Leicester. Now, obviously, you know the news regarding Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund recently confirmed that they've got a gentleman's agreement with Sancho over a possible transfer. And Dortmund have lowered their asking price for Sancho. They want from between 74 to 78 million pound. We've already talked with Jadon Sancho's representatives over a potential move. We're confident that we can get Sancho on the cheap. Borussia Dortmund have already admitted that they'll sell Sancho for the right price this summer. Borussia Dortmund's CEO did reveal earlier on this season that the club will discuss exceptional offers for Sancho. Chelsea have recently entered the race, and obviously Liverpool have been in for him. Earlier on this season, it said that we was preparing to put a £50 million bid in for Sancho. Before that, it said we paused our transfer pursuit of Sancho due to the progress of Mason Greenwood. I'd certainly take Jadon Sancho at Manchester United because I think he'd fit in the team well. He'd create good chances for us and he would score goals. And I just think in general he'd exceed expectations in the Premier League. Now, last summer, he was our number one priority target. And last summer, Sancho to Man United was extremely close because obviously it said the personal terms had been agreed, the agent fees had been agreed, and even a contract had been agreed. The main explanation we didn't get him last summer is because Dortmund were demanding 108 million and we was reluctant to meet their 108 million valuation. We was only willing to pay so much up front. Dortmund made it clear to us last summer that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We missed out on that deadline, so Sancho remained at Dortmund. And Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist and close to Man United, he's spoken a lot about the Sancho saga, and so too has Bill's Christian Falk. Analysing the vast majority of Jadon Sancho's career at Dortmund, he has been very, very consistent. He's enjoyed a couple of bad periods here and there. This has been Sancho's 4th season at Dortmund. Dortmund paid just £8 million for him from Man City, and he's got a contract with Dortmund until 2023. Recently, we've been looking at Kingsley Coman as an alternative to Sancho. You know the news on Pau Torres from Villarreal. He's been another player on our agenda. It recently said that Man United were in advanced talks to sign Pau Torres. It says we are aiming to complete the signing of Pau Torres before the European Championship begins. His release clause is around 43.4 million. Villarreal want us to meet his release clause. His release clause increases to just over 56 million in the final 15 days of the summer transfer window. He said earlier on this season that Pau Torres was very, very interested in coming to Man United, and Real Madrid's president Florentino Perez was infuriated with Man United for entering the race because at one point Real Madrid were emerged as the favourites to get him. Pau Torres has been at Villarreal a long time. Came up their youth academy, been in their senior squad for quite a while now. Got a contract with Villarreal until 2024. Do you think he'd go well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line? There's quite a few centre-halves Man United have looked at. He said a few weeks ago that Solskjaer had drawn up a 6-man centre-back shortlist. But we may not even get a centre-half now, because not so long ago, Eric Bailly signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. There is an option of a further year. I'm expecting Manchester United to do good business in the summer transfer window. I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings, maybe even 5 signings, and I've already identified the areas in the squad where we need to strengthen up. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did warn earlier on this season that we may not do business as usual due to the pandemic, but he said he's interested in bringing in players that will be a perfect fit for the club. The summer transfer window will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big this year's summer transfer window is going to be for himself and Manchester United. Solskjaer's already come out and said that he wants good backing. I'm expecting him to get the backing he deserves, because we've got John Murtough, he's our director of football. We've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. And we've got Matt Judge. Matt Judge has been part of the club for a long time. Woodward did say earlier on this season that he believes Solskjaer is the right man to lead the club forward, and he did release a statement regarding Solskjaer and the players, and he said the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. And even when we was enjoying them really bad periods under Ollie, when he was very close to getting sacked, Wood would come out several times to show his support for him. As you all know, it got announced the other week that Ed Woodward resigned as Manchester United vice chairman. he will stand down at the end of the year. I presume all United fans were delighted with the news regarding Ed Woodward. Ed Woodward has had a 16-year association with Manchester United. Not so long ago, Ed Woodward's home got attacked by masked protesters. Woodward, I think, will get to choose Manchester United's next chief executive. Said not so long ago that there could be 5 candidates that Manchester United could look at to replace Ed Woodward. It actually said that Edwin van der Sar was the favourite to replace Ed Woodward. We're going to offload quite a few players in the summer transfer window. Now, I think there's a very, very good chance that we're going to offload De Gea. Some Man United fans think it would be a mistake offloading De Gea. But I don't think it would be, because I reckon now he's had his years at Manchester United. De Gea has been a long servant. He's been at the club 10 years now. De Gea has, 2 years left on his current contract, and he's on £375,000 a week. I reckon De Gea's had 8 good years out of the 10 years he's been at Man United, because in the last couple of years he has been a liability, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he's made. But a few years ago he was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. De Gea has won everything domestically at the football club, and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. Earlier on this season, it said that De Gea had made his transfer decision. It said he's preparing to leave Man United, and he said that Man United will pay off his huge contract. He said we'd set the price for De Gea, it's £50 million, and quite a few clubs have been interested. I did say there's a very good chance that De Gea will go back to Spain. Sergio Romero, I'm also expecting us to offload him. Most of his appearances have come in the cup, haven't they? And he's our 3rd or 4th choice goalkeeper now. We got Sergio Romero back in 2015 on a free from San Pandora. So he's been at the club now over 5 years as Romero. Phil Jones, I'm also expecting us to offload him. Phil Jones is very, very inconsistent. He doesn't get in our 11, and he's been out of injury for over the year. Jones is the only outfield player that's still here from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. This is his 10th season at Man United, so he's been a long servant. Axel Tuanzebe, I think there's a good chance that we'll offload him, because he doesn't get in our 11. The best game I recall Tuanzebe having was the game against PSG. Alex Telles, I think we could offload him in the summer transfer window, because he's played nowhere near as much as I expected. When we got Telles last summer, I expected him to be our first choice left back immediately. He's done well in some of the games he's been involved in. We got him in a deal worth $15.4 million from Porto. It said not so long ago that Alex Telles has decided to leave Man United in the summer. Calcio Mercato said that Juventus have been interested in him, and Juventus are willing to offer Adrian Rabiot in exchange for Alex Telles. Diego Dalot, I think we'll be looking to get rid of him permanently. He's out on loan with AC Milan at the moment. Nemanja Matic, I'm also expecting us to offload him. He gets a lot of chances, Matic, but he isn't one of our first choice midfielders. I've always had my strong reservations about Matic anyway, because he's always been a slow player. And he's ageing up, and plus analysing the vast majority of his games at Man United, he's been too inconsistent. He's had some games though where he showed consistency. The club made a mistake by giving him that new 3-year contract before the start of this season. We got Matic in a deal worth $40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. Paul Pogba, He could still leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window, but obviously I hope he doesn't leave in the summer transfer window, because we've been getting the best out of Pogba in recent months, and he does bring creativity to the team. You know, disregarding Pogba, we lack that creativity and we are far too defensive. Recently, we've been playing Paul Pogba in more of an advanced role. We need to keep him in that advanced role because that's where he's more effective. But quite a lot before, we've played him in that deeper role. Earlier on this season, don't forget Pogba had a thigh injury and he was out for a while and he was a big miss. He had an ankle injury at the first part of this season and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. Solskjaer wants Paul Pogba to stay at Man United. He said earlier on this season he hopes he signs a new contract. It's come out and recently said though that Man United will sell Pogba in the summer transfer window if he doesn't sign a new contract. Now Man United are set to offer Pogba a new £400,000 a week deal. Pogba is demanding £500,000 a week. He says Man United will demand $80 million for Pogba this summer. He's had a long-running transfer saga though. He's been relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him. Barcelona have been in for him. And his former club Juventus have been in for him. Mini Oriola recently said that Paul Pogba wants to win trophies at Man United or at another top European club. He did say that Pogba's future is still in doubt, and he spoke about a Eden Hazard and Paul Pogba swap deal. He's done a lot of talking, his Mini Oriola. You know, he did say earlier on this season that he doesn't give a fuck if he doesn't take another player to Man United as long as his clients are happy. And he criticised Sir Alex Ferguson for forcing Pogba out of the club when he was younger. I presume all United fans disagreed with him criticising Ferguson. And he did say though as well earlier on this season that he's got no intentions of destabilising his client's season, and he did make an admission saying that he's working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer to avoid offence. He made the announcement back in December last year regarding Pogba, and Solskjaer was furious with Mini Oriola's announcement. Solskjaer did say earlier on this season that Paul Pogba's future lies at Man United. As it stands at the moment, he's our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him, and this has been his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. Juan Mata, I think there's a very, very good chance that we'll offload him. Juan Mata's current contract expires in June, but there is an option to trigger his contract for a further year. Juan Mata doesn't get in our 11. My element of concerns about Juan Mata, he has lost that yard of pace. And plus he's ageing up. But I do think he's had a good career at Man United. You know, he's been at the club, is it over 6 years now? Got him in a deal worth $40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. A lot of United fans are saying that we need to offload Anthony Martial in the summer as well, because he's no longer good enough to represent the club and he has been out of form for the vast majority of this season. The chances have been there for him, but he hasn't converted them. Martial's out of an knee injury now anyway. It's very, very likely he's going to be out for the remainder of the season. Solskjaer confirmed that not so long ago. Martial sustained a knee injury whilst he was on national duty with France. I reckon Martial's had 2 good seasons. He was good last season and he was good in his debut season under Van Gaal. We got him in a deal worth $54 million from Monaco, and Martial's been at the club now over 5 years. Brandon Williams, I think we could also loan him out because he doesn't get in our team and he is our 3rd choice left back. He played a lot of games last season. The only reason he did is because Luke Shaw had a couple of periods out with injury. So the players we sell in the summer transfer window will generate money and it will help us with our rebuilding process. There's a lot of players that are going to stay at Man United, obviously. And I reckon there's quite a few players that have got long-term futures at the club. By the way, on my next video, I will be giving you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference ahead of our game against Roma in the Europa League semi-final second leg. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he is our best manager since Ferguson. I've already said that Solskjaer does deserve at least another season at Manchester United because he has made progress in a lot of aspects. But I don't think he's a long-term manager for Man United. I hope I'm proven wrong though. I presume a lot of Manchester United fans are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in and they believe that he needs more time at the club, but Solskjaer's obviously been criticised a lot as well, and a lot of Manchester United fans have been demanding him out. Obviously they've got the main explanations why they've been demanding him out. Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. We've got a very, very good chance of winning the Europa League. Our first final is in sight. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. Don't forget Solskjaer did say last month, or was it the month before, that winning trophies can be an ego thing. But even if we fail to win the Europa League, we know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not going to be sacked. That's already been made clear. He said earlier on this season that Solskjaer agreed a new 3-year contract worth 30 million. Solskjaer still got is it 1 year or just under 1 year left on his current 3-year contract. He's been Manchester United manager now over 2 years as Solskjaer, and this has been his second full season at the club. Solskjaer's gained some managerial experience reflecting now on his being with us, and he has learnt quite a bit on the job. I do have my concerns about Ole. He hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager, but that doesn't mean he can't succeed as Man United manager. And his decision making also concerns me. But there's also a lot of positives regarding Solskjaer as well. You know, we are sitting second in the Premier League. We're probably going to finish second. Yeah, we've got a very, very good away record in the Premier League. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. We are unbeaten in our last 24 Premier League away games. We're enjoying a very good period at the moment. We're unbeaten in our last 7 games in all competitions. We've enjoyed quite a few good periods though under Ole. In some of them good periods, he's got the best out of the team. I like the way Solskjaer has promoted the youth. He's more or less got us to the Europa League final. Going to be his first major final as Man United manager. You know, got us to the FA Cup quarters this season. Got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. You know, did well last season in his first full season. He guided us to 3 semi-finals. Got us a 3rd place finish and got us qualification for the Champions League. He has made good signings as Man United manager so far. He's spent almost £300 million. Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in, and he has beaten quite a few big name managers. So they are the positives regarding Solskjaer. We do love Solskjaer because he is a club legend. He enjoyed 11 years as a player for Manchester United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. And the reason he's still Man United manager is because he is a club legend, so that's what's basically saved him. We appointed Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Mourinho, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. Given the job permanently a couple of years ago, reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. But Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thing. There's some United fans that think he's in a position that he shouldn't be really in. Do you think we'll win a title under Ole? I'm sceptical about it. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, which is 8 years ago now. Solskjaer is inheriting players from other managerial eras. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.